All right, guys, we're gonna try this again. And sorry for the last failed attempt. So what happened? Well, the sound was really, really terrible because I had my car speakers on. So I think the sound is going to be better this time. I hope. The other thing that was happening was that every time I went to go, I was trying to read articles on my phone and do this at the same time. Apparently, that is just not possible. So figured that out in the last video. So here we are back again, just going to give you some summaries. So over the weekend, there were some major storms in the Midwest over the weekend. Um, Storm swept across the Midwest from Iowa to Alabama. They killed 11 people. Two first responders were killed in Texas. There were icy conditions in Texas. Tornadoes and unrelenting rain were all over the Midwest. Deadly tornadoes, they killed people in Alabama and Louisiana, and people lost power from Texas to Ohio. So some major weather disruptions, including also the extremely warm weather on the East Coast in Boston and New York, all the way down to Washington, D.C. I think it was even farther south. So unseasonably warm weather. Jennifer Graham got the edge of snow in Nebraska. Okay. Yeah, it just seems to be that there's, wacky weather going across. Of course, it's wintertime, so in the Midwest, you're bound to get some snows. Uh, you're bound to get some storms and some snow. And this is just, majorly disruptive. I personally did not see too much of it on the news myself, but then, what do I know? I'm a shut-in. I'm covering this, only the climate doom, so, if it's just regular news, I might actually miss it. Lots of rain and wind in Vermont, says Carl Rosengrant. Yeah, I've been hearing just bits and pieces from people around the country of what's going on. And there is, like a trough going on. There's some, again, we're getting this like bifurcated weather systems across the U.S. So it's extremely cold. It's actually extremely, unseasonably cold on the West Coast, and it has been unseasonably warm on the East Coast. So that's what's happening. It's actually been rather cool in Southern California. We're usually we usually get a little dip of winter weather, and then it just warms up again. But it's been staying like fairly cold, almost down into the 30s at night here. Moving on to the UK, so there's a storm in the UK called Storm Brendan. That is bringing, it's absolutely lashing the UK coast. Gusts up to 80 miles an hour. The Met Office has issued a 14-hour yellow warning for wind covering the UK west coast and North Ireland, parts of Wales, and northeast Scotland. So they're getting pummeled by this major Storm Brendan. Also wanted to cover in this video, just real quickly for you. Friend in Dublin says it's bad. Yeah, and I believe I heard from Donald McCarthy this morning saying that they're getting just punished. So keeping an eye on the UK major weather system happening right now. Also, again from Australia, Operation Rock Wallaby. So they are airdropping food to the wild animals that have survived the fires there. The habitat has been absolutely wiped out, destroyed. So they are trying to get food to the animals. Glad to see that they are doing something to help the wildlife there survive after the fires have wiped out everything, and they have no habitat, they have no food. So they're trying to fend off mass starvation. Carrots and sweet potatoes, exactly. They're dropping carrots and sweet potatoes to fire-affected areas. Brush-tailed rock wallabies left without food after much of their habitat was destroyed. by fires. You know, that in conjunction with other major rescue efforts of animals, of course, koalas, kangaroos, and all, you know, all kinds of animals, insects as well, being affected by these fires, being wiped out by these fires. So that's a good thing. The fire is, of course, a bad thing, but they're trying to save the animals that they can. Lastly, in this video, I just wanted to do this real quick. We've gone for 5 minutes. That's about all I wanted to do today. Lastly, in political news, Cory Booker has dropped out. Ring the bell. As another fair to middling presidential candidate has dropped out of the presidential race. Cory Booker didn't really stand for much. Prudone, how you doing? Yeah, you know, Cory Booker didn't really bring anything to the presidential race other than, you know, middling centrism and, you know, more corporate backed candidacies from people we just don't really need to hear about. So he's dropped out, you know, narrowing the race. I guess I'll add one more thing in that, you know, there's been this muck up about Elizabeth Warren. The Warren campaign is blaming Bernie Sanders for sending his people out to go smear her. And that's not what's happening. That's absolutely untrue. So whatever, we'll see what comes of that. Anyways, guys, I just want to, you know, drop in, say hello. This is going to be pretty much the end of this. Sean is saying, someone I watch on YouTube lives in the UK, says it's rain. It's very windy much of the time. Really bad weather there. Yes. Right now they are suffering a major storm Brendan. So I just want to drop in and say hi, guys. That's about it for me right now. There's a regular video coming out later today, so keep your eyes open for that. And I will see you all